Oh boy, it's that time of year again. Next year. And you know what that means? It's time for my opinions to be heard. This was supposed to be done a few months ago, but sudden house remodeling, sickness, and more kept me from finishing this when I wanted to. So yeah, 2023 may have been last year, but it matters not. For I have crafted this video to be timeless. A joy to all, for all ages. And without further ado, so how about we start with a 1999 classic, Silent Hill. Definitely not silent, and absolutely no hills. This one took me a while to finish, basically because it was too creepy. So creepy that I just didn't want to play it. I'd rather do something not terrifying, you know? But when I did manage to force myself to play, I had a good time. Well, I can't deny how well made the game is, that's for sure. It's like, what if Resident Evil was 10 times scarier and 3 times better? I mean, I really enjoyed my time playing ye old PS1 Resident Evils, but Silent Hill has this sophisticated air about it. Gotta be the dialogue.
There's gotta be another way.
Wait! I just remembered something!
I take that back.
What?
What it's got going for it, though, is an excellent soundscape paired with insanely fancy graphics. And a pretty unnerving plot, too. And also literal nightmare buildings. And sweet Mary Jesus, I just remembered the button that is there in the elevator. Just wasn't there before, and now it is. I'm proud of me for getting through all this. Wow. I mean, it's stuff like this that elevates Silent Hill way above Resident Evil in the creepy category. This game really feels pretty nightmarish quite often. Way more often than what's comfortable for me. So hey, gold star. Looking forward to playing Silent Hill 2. I sure am. Totally gonna do that someday. Oh yeah. I wrote my top 6 games of 2023. Never said they were good. Anyway, I heard a few randos say that Alwa's Awakening was good. So when I got it for free one day, I downloaded it, installed it, turned it on, and oh yeah, instant hate. Now for anyone who grew up with an NES and wished those days were never over, wished video games never changed, and loved the idea of permanent stagnation, then play this game. Seriously, don't play an actual NES game you've never played before. Play this. Here, let me demonstrate. In the beginning, there were the good people, but then a very evil wizard stole the crystals of world peace, leading to an age of darkness. That's where you, the hero, comes in. And so when the you guy wakes up, some person tells you, you gotta save the day. But right away, something is off. The writing's horrible. Deliberately. It's going back to the good old days of who the hell cares? Story? What's that? Characters? Sorry, we only have 0.2 kilobytes of data left. Instead of anything fun or creative, the writing consists of mind-numbing game tutorials and directions. If you're lucky, there'll be some fantasy garbage mixed in. What I'm saying is the NPCs don't have character. They are signposts. But, I don't know, what about the gameplay? Well, besides the classic kill enemy, it's also got push blocks. Wow. Never seen that before. Guacamelee 2. Truly terrible. I'm ready for some punching and kicking and screaming with a Mexican set dressing. But what do I get? A video game referencing video games in the most unfunny ways possible. Remember Symphony of the Night? Remember Limbo? Remember beat 'em ups? What about Metroid? Yeah, I do remember Guacamelee. Your point? Right, there isn't one. Guacamelee 2 is just a sad video game trapped inside the narrow world of video games. Maybe there's a decent game under all this, but all I saw was a game groveling under the shadow of better games. Couldn't stomach any more. Alright, next up, Super Mario Odyssey! It sucks. Well, it doesn't suck. It's just disappointing. But saying Super Mario Odyssey is disappointing. Yeah, see? Doesn't have that dramatic punch I'm looking for. But anyway, it's one thing to say it's disappointing, but what do I mean exactly? Well, I'll tell you. All the different places you can go to in this game, they all have a big lack of expansiveness. Not the best phrasing, but bear with me for a second. You know how in Mario 64 when you looked up at the stained glass in the main hallway, you're whisked away into a land in the clouds, and Mario can suddenly fly? Or how this kind of suspicious dead end is actually a secret, big air quotes on that one, a secret level? Or how the time on this clock affects how the clock world ticks? Ha ha! Or that insane parallel universe stuff. People, meaning me, like this sort of thing because it expands Mario 64 in ways that make it feel like the world is never truly explored, never completely mapped out. There's always that spark in the back of our mind. What if? This doesn't happen because OMG, the world is huge. It's because there's all these little secrets everywhere. It's the possibility, and sometimes the surprise that the game expands in ways you don't expect. There's a reason little kids thought you could unlock Luigi as a playable character. Because kids are gullible. And all the secrets everywhere, that too. Mario Odyssey on the other hand, well, yeah, it doesn't do any of this. Which, I mean, really might have been fine. One of my favorite Mario games is 3D World, and that game isn't like 64 at all. Unlike 3D World though, where you play a level and move on, Odyssey expects you to poke around and stir up trouble. You're supposed to wander around and find as many of these weird looking bananas as you can. It's fun, at first. Because, you know, after a while, see this little desert town? Literally all I want to do when I look at this is run around in there and admire it. Find every intricacy and be impressed. But when you walk in, you realize you pretty much saw everything from the outside. There's a few colorful boxes and a fountain. Maybe this is a bit weird, but when this happened to me, I couldn't help but feel like Odyssey just got a lot smaller. There were all these possibilities a second ago, and they're gone. That was pretty much my experience with the whole game. The more I explored, the tinier and tinier everything felt. There's nothing here that'll make you question just how well you know these places, because you do know. There are no strange quirks that claw at the edges of the game, coaxing you to imagine something more. This is it. This is everything. Well, except for one magical little moment. See, normally when you fall off the world, you die. Typical. But in the Steam Gardens, if you fall off, Mario lands in a strange, mysterious forest. This is the kind of stuff Odyssey needed. Strange places you're not guaranteed to run into. They don't have to be much, they just need to be there. A possibility that there might be more. That's the kind of Mario Odyssey I'd like to see. And now for a few random mentions. They're not necessarily honorable nor dishonorable. They're just a couple games I want to talk about for a minute. Going Under, a roguelike with a colorful corporate art style where you beat up blue goblins for some reason. This is explained later, don't worry. It's about some rando who wants to work for a weird soda pop shop. And of course, it goes horribly wrong. Instead of some office job, she gets a monster slaying job. Killing monsters in a corporate basement. Gotta be a metaphor I'm not seeing there. Anyway, it's a great little game. Very satisfying to kill. Which it better be because our only other option is to talk. Not as satisfying. The characters don't have a ton of dialogue. I ran out quite a while before I finished the game. But you gotta remember, that's because I enjoyed talking and blabbering people up. They didn't have much to say after I was done with them. So the story and the writing and stuff is very nice, just to clarify here. But the combat is really what kept me going. It has a real good feel to it. The way the intern swings a refrigerator over her head. Just right. All the weapon animations have this nice punchy feel to them, and the overall combat has a nice quick pace, which will pretty often ramp into a frantic scramble if your weapon breaks and you don't have an extra one in your pocket. In that case, you gotta hustle and grab the nearest piece of junk, like a laptop, and then smash some blue goblin's head in. Also, points for being one of the only roguelikes I ever bothered to finish. That's gotta count for something. Now, so far, I haven't included a single game from 2023. But don't worry, I did play one that Nintendo lovers will swoon over for decades. Breath of the Kingdom. And yeah, good game. I have issues with it, but I like it. Very impressive how Link can fall out of the sky, land back in Hyrule, and immediately jump in a ditch that leads straight to hell. Without a loading screen, too. It's cool. But you want to know the worst thing about Tears of the Kingdom? The Sky Islands. They're gorgeous. Stunning. Beautiful. Every part of me wants nothing more than to be here and enjoy every golden orange drop of it. Yet half the Sky Islands are a copy of each other. And on top of that, most of the islands that are original aren't even very good. See this? Cool looking, huge sky orb, right? How'd it get here? What is its purpose? I had so many questions, so many thoughts. And then it turns out all that's inside are some lame puzzles. I mean, there was this one island where you rotate a bridge. That was cool. But god damn it, man, when I saw how barren the sky was, I got excited. I figured since the sky was so empty, the few islands we got were going to be superb. Turns out I was hoping for too much. Story of the whole game, really. The other new area, the underworld, well, it's even worse. An empty, dull, filler place. I mean, again, first impressions were pretty good, but then you realize all you find here are random piggy mining outposts, Yiga clan outposts, and yeah, there was something else. What was it? Lightseed beacons, yeah. That's about it, really. Few exceptions here and there, of course. Thank God we can fly over everything and get to the points of interest, because nothing else is worth it down here. Oh, and you know, one other thing that bugs me about all this? Mining for Zonite. My machines were gobbling up the stuff, so I had to find more of it pretty often. But you can't do that safely unless you cook up some Sundelions, just in case you get attacked. So you also gotta go to the Sky Islands and pick up those flowers. Now, I don't mind that. I mean, I do. But it's kind of fun in its own grindy way. No, what bothers me is how the building part of the game incentivizes you to go here and do that. You're not completely left on your own this time. Now we've got things to build, resources to gather, places to be. It's pretty much the opposite of why I fell in love with Breath of the Wild. Because in that game, you were free. Pretty much no incentive to go in any one particular place besides where your heart takes you. It was perfect for soaking in the space around you, admire trees, puddles, creeks, and grass. Oh yeah. Grass never gets old. Journey work of the stars and all that. Tears of My Kingdom, though, just keeps pulling me this way and that way. I always felt like I had to do something. Check stuff off the list, you know? But I gotta do it for those sweet Zonite pucks, am I right? I mean, my new and improved flying machine with bat eyeball is unfortunately the cheapest, fastest, bestest machine you're ever going to get, so I don't really feel like I need to build anything else. But I want to. I really want to build a bipedal mech. Hold on. Ah, forget it. Splatoon 3. Believe it or not, I actually wrote 3 whole paragraphs for this one. But on reflection, I only needed 1 sentence. It's Splatoon 1 again. Except with worse stages this time. Seriously, it can't just be me, right? Am I crazy, or are the stages in the 3rd game more basic than the ones in the 1st one? Is that even possible? Somehow. Anyway, moving on. And now for a game that warms my heart. Yes, that's right, everybody. It's finally time to get back to the good games, so let's give it up for my second favorite of the year, Tearaway. I love this game so much. After playing Mario Odyssey and Tears of the Kingdom, I was just wondering if maybe I turned into a big old grump. This game's no good. They don't make them like they used to. But no, a few months later, I find a new love in Tearaway. It's hard for me to do this game justice and really get at why it's so special, because the entire thing, the art, the story and levels, the mood and controls, the whole game, it all fits perfectly together. And of course that's true for pretty much any decent game, but Tearaway is one of those few where everything blends together in all the right ways. And it just creates such a wonderful place to be in, where you can take a breath, hear the rustle of paper trees, find beauty, and be still. And also play some football! But yeah, it knows how to handle those quiet moments. It indulges in them really, and I couldn't be more happy about that. It's one of my great video game loves. I mean, if the music just fades away for no real reason, like it does in the Sand Kingdom and Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey. Well, it doesn't do anything for me then. When it's done right though, like in Tearaway, quiet moments draw your attention, not on some shiny new distraction, but on what's happening. On what's happened. And Tearaway is ready to do this as soon as you start. It sets you in a toit at the edge of the woods on a clear night, guiding you into its serene yet slightly strange world, with only the sounds of the earth to accompany you. Oh my god, little boxes! A minute after that, chillness. It's a beautiful game. Not just the art, though, of course that is too, but the essence of everything here. To be honest, it kind of feels weird not to have Tearaway be my #1 this year. I mean, even if you don't fall in love with it like I did, there's still solid gameplay with interesting twists that'll please the stony heart of even the most jaded of video game players. I don't get it. What the hell could be higher on my... Uh-oh. It's fun. It's so much fun. Make it stop. So yeah, Fortnite is my game of the year. Now, if you were like me and haven't played it before, you might be concerned. How could Indy, the guy with such good taste, like Fortnite so much that it's his game of the year? My answer? It's incredibly fun. If I told myself this even a day before I played it, I would have thought I was trying to pull a fast one on myself. I mean, Fortnite? What could possibly be good about such a corporatized, franchise-slathered online multiplayer game? Turns out a lot, actually. I mean, you and theoretically 99 other people are all running around in the same space, hiding, exploding, all at the same time. And I just think that's the coolest. Like, there could be two people having the fight of their life, and then I show up and ruin it. Or I don't know, some guy shoots rockets at me and I shoot bullets at him and we're both trying to blow our cover. That's a basic one, but it's cool. It's cool that you can blow up cover. It's cool that I've won that encounter. It's cool that two people use their brains to try and figure out where's the best spot. Where should I be if this tree blows up? Should I charge in and go for the kill that I'm almost guaranteed to fumble? Everyone is thinking about this sort of thing all the time. Or they're not. That's the weird thing about Fortnite. It's not just a shooter game. If you want, you can ignore the whole battle royale thing and go fish. Take a hike. Ride a bike. Eat chocolate eggs while the battle rages around you. That and a whole lot more like it is a completely valid playstyle. Often you're even encouraged to do stuff like this. Encouraged by the game system. You know, if you want to unlock the latest goodies, sometimes you gotta do things that have nothing to do with winning. So you just don't know for sure what people are up to. I mean, it's a safe guess those scary people will go to places like Treasure Island or one of those evil bad guy mansions with OP weapons. But me, I didn't really have anywhere in particular to go to. A shack on the edge of the world one round, somewhere else the next. But then Season 2 happened, and right away I fell in love with the Steamy Springs. At first it was pretty simple, you know, I just wanted to grab one of those samurai swords, which of course I have almost no footage of. But anyway, it was just so much fun to be there. The buildings, the hot springs, the sand with the funny lines in it. I learned every nook and cranny of the place. And it paid off because I was often able to beat people that were much better than me just because I knew where everything was. And this could happen anywhere too. It doesn't need to look important or have a name. It could be anywhere on the map. Like there was this one time I slid down a hill. I didn't want to, but I didn't really have a choice. And by some miracle, there was this cute little tree that gave its life to me as a shield. A moment later, it was over. I won! If that tree wasn't there, I would have died. If the hill wasn't there, I would have been too easy to hit and also die. So this spot, and mostly that tree, was never just another tree after that. It was my favorite tree. Stuff like this would never happen in other games. I mean, why would you ever think fondly of one particular tree in Tears of the Kingdom or Elden Ring? If it was a special tree, then okay. But I'm talking about one of the anonymous hundreds. No one cares about those. But because of all the random circumstances that happened, this is the best tree. And the way Fortnite works, it guarantees at least a few people will end up really liking some random tree or a shack in the middle of nowhere. Which kind of speaks for why Fortnite is my favorite game of 2023. You just never know what's going to happen. Most of the games are interesting or exciting in some way. I mean, so much stuff is going on all at once that even the most basic, routine game can have its moments. People do different things. They end up in different spots. The weapons change every few weeks, and the island changes every few months. It's never the same game twice. There's no way you'll be able to figure it all out. And if you do, you should take a break. Why not play one of the nice games I mentioned?